Hello and welcome to another World War II review. Today I will be reviewing my remodeled t-35-1, which is a Soviet. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sick, so I might cough sometimes throughout the video. Hope you don't mind that. It was a Soviet heavy tank. It was only like something like 35 of them were produced. Some of them were actually used in battle, but they are really rare tanks. Because they were quite odd tanks. I mean, they are very big. They're not very, don't have the best mobility, and it was cramped inside, despite the fact that the tank was huge. It was over 10 meters long. And as some of you know, I've already had a model of this for a couple of years. But this is basically the reworked model, and something that you might notice, that you probably have noticed, is the fact that this tank is kind of sand green, and it's not something with your computer screen or my camera. I've actually painted this tank. While some people might call me mad, I felt that it would be something fun to do because previously it was light gray, and I wasn't a big fan of this version in light gray, so I decided to go with this type of color. I would like to be slightly different. I wasn't really going for sand green, but one good thing with this is that if you look at if you compare these two, okay, the camera make it look a bit different, a bit more different than it actually is. But if I would be to use sand green, Lego sand green, and this together, it would actually work out pretty nicely. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. First off, I'm gonna show you the front, which is one of the places that I'm actually not completely done with the front yet. You can see I'm actually missing the lower plate here. But if you just ignore that, take a look here. We have the machine gun up there. We have a nice slope here in the front. Got the mud guards here on the sides. Got your two out of your 5 turrets. Got the small one and the big one. They do spin around very nicely. And this gun, yeah, that kind of elevates up and down a little. I'm not going to do that now. I'm probably going to break it off if I do that. So nothing too much new in the front. If you look on the side, yeah, you can see that sorry, I've changed the slope of this. Previously it sloped upwards, but I looked at some pictures and realized that this is actually more correct to have this slope down here. So that looks, I think that looks really nice, you know, this little side. Also got this little ladder added here. Got these little extra vents added here as well. Another nice thing when you actually paint a tank like this is that you actually get some parts in some colors that you maybe didn't have or did not even exist. For example, this piece here wouldn't exist in sand green. Well, pretty much no part here would exist in sand green. But like when I had a light gray one, I had the dark black pieces that existed that I didn't have. But as you can see, I've left some dark gray, light gray on the tank. For example, the wheels are still that color. You can see some other bits and pieces inside and under here, just to give it, you know, to still get that Lego feel. Something else that this tank still have that it had before is suspension. As you can see, it does work very nicely. Even if I kinda, it doesn't suspend very much now, and that's because I've made the tracks sit pretty tight, just because I can't stand it when you pick up a tank and the treads like move out of position. But you can see on the side here that on the other side here, when you hold it up, you can see that they can move a lot. I actually use the same very simple suspension setup that I used previously. So that's, wait, I'm going to see so I don't break anything off. I put it down like that. No, pretty much good to go. See, I'm using the same setup that I've been using for 2 years now on this. So I don't feel there's any need to change it because it does work very nicely. So if you don't know how to do suspension, have a look at this. It's just a very easy way to do it. It's very simple, yet it's very effective, and it saves quite a lot of space. You can still make kind of an interior. All of this doesn't have an interior. So take a look on the back here. You have I've changed a lot of things on the back, so it's way more accurate now. You still have the 2 turrets here, which is accurate. Just some extra gizmos here on the side. and here. I've got a fuel tank over there, spade. Also have a opening hatch here that I'm gonna actually see if I can open that up for you. I think I need a pair of scissors to do that. Yeah, and just kind of carefully tilt this, so usually I can get it open. There we go. I think I might be able to. There we go. And I think you can't really see that because of some reason I decided to make the engine completely black, but it does have an engine in there. So let's close that up again. What's under here? Well, under here you find a huge fan. Well, it's a gear right now, but it's supposed to be a fan because it had that. The real tank had a huge ass fan in the back, and this is of course the cover up for it. Previously didn't have that either, and as you see it's slightly slanted all the way, so it's way more accurate in that aspect as well. So now we can move on to the turret, which is completely remodeled. I just took it apart completely, the older one, and right now it just looks so much better. It's a way smoother design, as you can see. There we go. The gun moves up and down. It's a bit hard to move it up. No, wait, there we go. So on the joints I would like move them with the parts, the two wedge pieces sit together like this. I kind of got some paint in there, so some of them are really hard to move up and down, but the main gun moves up and down pretty nicely now. This can be a bit hard to get open. Oh no, wait, I lied. So I can just pick it up to show you the space inside there. I think this turret, for the record, is one of the better turrets I've made because it's so compact, yet it got lots of features, and as you can see, it even have a bit of a floor in there for someone to sit on, so not a hole right through, despite the fact that the turret is only 2 bricks high. Not even 2 bricks, but almost 2 bricks high. So just close that up again, and then you have the other hatch, this one. This one is very hard to open, like I said, because you can see that there's got some paint down there, so it's really hard to open. No, I'm probably just gonna break something. But yeah, that hatch opens up as well. Let's take that up. It's easier to just stick it in like this. So there we go. And how big is it? Well, let's compare it to a figure. It displays pretty nicely how high it actually is, even if it looks like the tank's a bit higher. But let's try to show you a bit from the side a bit more. You can see that the minifigure is pretty much the same height, if not even a bit taller, which is nice because that's actually very accurate. It was quite high here and then completely flat on top of this, you know, except for this extra height thing, this extra thing here. Sorry. So it's actually quite accurate in size. Some people might say that it should have been slightly less, a bit shorter and a bit less wide. But truth be told, I only have these wider tracks available, and I still think it looks great. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and see you in the next one.